Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and namaste to all the people who joined today across the globe. This webinar on Lever for Business Growth, Android TV Lever for Business Growth. We are sure that you are and your families doing great during current COVID challenging times. As we know, during the last few years, we have seen a tremendous growth of Android TV as a platform. We know that Android is now a mainstream platform and well adopted by different partners across the continent. It's not limited to one of the continent. For today's webinar, we have a guest panel who represent the different part of the industry from operator to system integration engineering and consultancy services, and from Google itself, Google Android TV team. We are looking forward to hear and understand from them how the Android TV is helping and help the partners. The esteemed panel guests today for the webinar actually do not need any introduction. I'm sure you may know them personally, many of them, but I will start a quick introduction. So I will start with the Mark. Hi, Mark. Good evening.
Hi. Hello.
So Mark Seidenfield heads the Android TV business development in Asia Pacific. Mark is having a more than 20-year experience working across the multiple domains from telecom, media, and advertising, and which is one of his he's passionate about, I may say, from my discussion with him so far. He has worked across the multiple countries, as we know, and travel, and he loves traveling, I know. And from including, he worked from Russia to the UK and across the continent. So it's not limited. It's difficult to count on the number what he has done. So thanks, Mark, for joining today. And the next panelist we have today is Mr. Sanjeev Kashyap. Hi, Sanjeev.
Hey, hi.
Sanjeev is, as many of you know, is the Chief Technology Officer at Airtel for its DTH, VSAT, and teleport businesses. He's having 25+ years of experience in delivering the video entertainment services across the network. It's not limited to the satellite. It's a cable and telco and different part of what he has done. He's having a rich experience of the product management and the solution development for connected world. He's quite passionate about driving innovations and implementing and adopting new technologies for driving the new businesses. Sanjeev, as we know, spearheaded the successful launch of Android TV-based Extreme platform, and also is instrumental in enabling the digital transformation journey within the DTH services of Airtel. So thanks, Sanjeev, for joining today. The next panelist, my colleague, we have Mr. Nitin Pai. Hi, Nitin.
Hey.
Nitin is Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer at Tata Elxsi, and his career spans from design and business strategies and marketing, and even incubating the new businesses. And he's quite passionate about the design, so he enjoyed applying the design-led thinking strategically to impact how the branding and the business growth can be achieved. So thank you all for joining. As such, you know how we can have a broadcast in journal on a lighter note without VR or from the broadcast industry, and how can we have a broadcast without the ad being played over there? As we know, everywhere the ad is the monetization aspect, right? And it's very important for everyone has to be there. a short video on about the Tata Elxsi Media and Communication business, but I will definitely promise you that you will not see any further ad during the session. So we'll just play the ad.
Sure.
Thank you for bearing with us for this small ad clip on a Tata Elxsi. And as I promised, you will not see this. So moving to the today's key subject, Android TV and lever for business growth. So moving to the discussions. Um, as we know that Sanjeev is instrumental in launching the first Android TV platform in India. So maybe Sanjeev, I would like to ask, maybe put this point to you that if I remember correctly, Airtel took a decision in 2015, even before Google announced an operator tier launcher, and many of the operator even were not thinking about the Android TV. It would be great if you can share some light on why Android TV and what happened exactly and what made make you think about it. Sanjeev?
Actually, with what all digitization was happening, the onset of OTT platforms, and we also being a telecom company with presence across mobile, broadband, DTH, it was good to explore connected functionalities on the STB. Till that time, we were having one-way connected STBs only. Now, Android TV being an established open ecosystem supported with a big app developer community, gave the advantage of rolling out new features and functionalities faster in the market, giving us scalability, flexibility, and alternate revenue generation opportunity. And that's how Android TV.
Thanks. So, Mark, that led to me a question to you, because this is scalability and also maybe good to get a good overview of how the Android TV market evolving and how you see the Google's, or if you can give some input to us on the Google visions going forward for Android TV.
Sorry, I was on mute. So the development of Android TV in general is going quite well. I think that we have upwards of 100 operators worldwide who have already launched, and almost double that amount that are in the process. So I think that our highest penetration so far is in APAC, followed by EMEA, with the Americas coming on. And what I think really, for me, is the most satisfying is we're seeing a really mature ecosystem take place. I guess as you said there would only be one advertisement, allow me to add one more. So, including your company, who's really been a big help and been one of the leaders in moving Android TV along. But there's really a big ecosystem right now between OEMs, between system integrators, developers, contractors. And if you're an operator, large, small, or medium in any region, you're usually going to find it pretty easy to find the appropriate partners for your needs and for your budget. So it's, I think we've come a long way from 4 years ago when, you could find someone who would do this, but not do that, or do it one way, not another way. But today, I think the ecosystem has really matured, fleshed itself out. And that's the reason why things are moving the way they are. Android TV is simply, we're competitive. Our cost of ownership is lower. Our launch is faster and it's cheaper. Would you like me to elaborate on any other particular point?
Mark, maybe one specific point, maybe I would like you to elaborate. How you see the operator versus the retail market for Android TV, because we see that operators are launching in every market, and we have recently seen Google TV based Chromecast launch happen, and we see every day new of the retail boxes coming to the e-commerce market. So how you see them happening, and what is your view?
So I see both of those happening, and I don't really see them as competing with each other, because Amazon in certain markets, Roku, Samsung smart TVs everywhere, are all carrying OTT services. Android TV is not the first one there, and there are a few markets in the world, specifically the US, where cable TV is finding that it's very challenged. And I don't believe that it's because of OTT services. OTT services might be a catalyst, but right. I think the US has very, very specific problems that are not present elsewhere. And that's why we see in many other markets where cable TV is either staying in place if it's a more mature market, or growing very fast in many emerging markets, in spite of the fact that OTT is available. So I don't see this as a competition. I just see this that the average consumer is used to getting the content they want, where they want it, how they want it. And there was a need to expand from the phone to additional services that people wanted. So we definitely see this going on with TV. I think it helps everyone because it makes the ecosystem larger. There are more and more apps available. And I believe that in the near future, we're going to be seeing a lot of development of games and not just video. I think you're going to find Android TV bringing content as varied as it is on the phone to the TV as well.
That make me to a question to the Nitin. Nitin, Tata Elxsi as a leading system integrator partner and a consultant partner with all the leading operators globally, how you see that Android TV evolving, and how you are seeing the traction happening with them on Android TV?
Right. Well, I think in many ways, Sanjeev has already referred to it, right? And in the context of the drivers that he took into consideration when he looked at Android. And I think Mark has expanded on that a little bit. For me, I use this acronym user. So it's all about the user. So user experience, so that's the first U. It's really about personalization, about differentiation, even maybe voice interaction and so on, that enables that ease of use, right? The S is really speed, because I think fundamentally operators are looking at how do they compete in the market, how do they differentiate in the market, and you essentially need to have that control, flexibility, and the ability to deliver new services. The E is really economies of scale and of cost. And I think Mark referred to it, a big ecosystem and the availability of commodity hardware, pre-qualified hardware. All of this actually makes it fundamentally cheaper as a TCO piece in terms of deploying differentiated TV service. And the R really is revenue streams. And I think that is where I'm very sure Sanjeev spends a lot of his time on now, which is now that I've got a great service going on, where does the new revenue streams come for me? What comes from smart home? What comes from additional monetization services, ads? So I think user for me more or less captures what Android TV kind of promises for operators going forward.
Yeah, yeah, Nitin, we have seen the growth, how's happening in Airtel and how it evolved. So as you mentioned about the different aspect of Android TV, I think it's really give a good overview together. If I see with if I try to see what Mark and Sanjeev and you have mentioned. So Sanjeev, maybe the next question I would like to put it to you. We know that Airtel Extreme Box, which is a complex hybrid platform with multiple features. Can you please help us in understanding, or can you please elaborate on the challenges what you have faced while moving to the Android TV, and what was your experience in achieving and in launching the platform?
Basically, Airtel Extreme 4K STB was the first hybrid platform in the industry. As you said that we were one of the first movers. So obviously, for any new technology to get established, one goes through multiple challenges. So initial challenge was to identify the right set of partners. At that time, the overall ecosystem, starting from SoC, OEMs, even various standards were evolving. So it has taken some time to mature. It is now much matured, as Mark said. There are partners, there are solutions now. There are multiple people who are working on it. At the time, one of the challenge was how to bring DVB and Android coexist on a common platform, wherein both the CAS and DRM work on the same platform was one challenge. The other is being a connected platform. One needs to create a complete backend system for the management and monitoring the performance of the connected set-top boxes. There are still televisions in the customer place which have not implemented standards properly, and hence making things work together at times become challenging. I feel we had to work along with a few TV manufacturers and even third-party app developers to fine-tune their platform, and at times to fine-tune our platform so that both of the things work together. Overall, I would say it has been a very enriching and learning experience in creating a connected platform.
So Mark, it appears you want to say something. Any comment, quick comment on what Sanjeev mentioned?
No, not offhand, unless you think that there's something specific that I should address there.
No, I think fine. So Sanjeev, so this platform is, as we know, scaling and taking to the, we are seeing a continuous growth happening on the platform. So what are the key levers from Airtel perspective for growing the business, and how these levers are helping in growing the business for Airtel? Maybe if you can give you a perspective on that.
Actually, there is a huge change in the pattern of content consumption all over. Earlier, it used to be more linear. Now, people are also getting hooked up to OTT content. COVID has also forced people to stay at home. TV viewing hours per home has significantly increased. Airtel Extreme STB, with an enriched UI UX experience, provides a seamless browsing experience between linear and OTT content. It supports all the popular OTT platforms like YouTube, Netflix, Hotstar, even MX Player TV, etc. It's a scalable system with voice, addressable ad, personalization, and the capability of rolling out new features and functionalities is very fast. It provides stickiness and also alternate monetization opportunities for us as Airtel, and is helping in the growth of the overall business.
Thank you. That's really give a quite good overview with respect to the how it's really helping. So, Mark, as we know now, on a slightly different, as we know, Android TV is a mainstream, as I mentioned earlier. So, how you see operator can leverage the Android TV from Google view, and how you are seeing people are using it for growing their business.
Oh, I agree fully with what Sanjeev mentioned, and also, you guys, is having the full ecosystem out there makes it easy. We don't want you to think about the device. You shouldn't have to worry about that. If you are using Android TV, maximum you should be worried about is, will this also be used for gaming or something like that? But on a standard set-top box, the level of depth that an operator has been used to going into, where separate discussions with the SoC vendor, to the point where the SoC vendor might be making special APIs for an individual operator, we would like to offer operators the ability not to have to worry about that at all. And to build their service. And I think that Airtel here is a fantastic example. For those of you who haven't seen and gone through their UI, I highly recommend that you find a way how to do that, even if you're not located in India. It is really, I think, a very prime example, one of the best that I've seen, that really does blend everything seamlessly. It allows you access to all your favorite content, regardless of which service it's coming from the unified interface, and all of those wonderful things that would really be difficult to achieve, I think, on a different platform with the same amount of resources. And I think that, so what we'd like to do is, I'd like to say that the way that we're helping operators is by letting them forget about 50% of the things they have to worry about today, where they can literally take for granted. You took an Android TV box with certain, of a certain type, you don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about the software. You don't have to worry about anything at all, the upgrades, anything. You don't have to waste your time on that. And I think that's a huge thing that we're giving to the operator. Content, again, you don't have to worry so much about content. We have pre-certification available on Netflix. We have it with Amazon. We have it with many other operators. So that's those things represent your current business and how to do it faster and how to do it cheaper and how to do it easier. There's a different part, which is how to build your business. So to get new revenue streams. So as we mentioned, gaming is something that is coming on, and you can get in touch with your local business Android TV BD person for introductions to game publishers that are already working with operators globally. There's additional revenue available from there. We've also launched so far in beta with 2 operators in APAC and 1 in Europe, linear insertion. Linear insertion is a $500 billion business globally. And there's, even if you get a very small piece of that, that's a lot of money. And we are really, for this year, for this coming year, that's one of my top goals. And I hope to have at least 10 operators launched by the end of 2021 in APAC. So again, feel free to get in touch with your local BD person or with Tarun over here from Tatalexi or from your others who can help. We have a variety of solutions that you can put in regardless of whether you have a hybrid IPTV or OTT box. And this will something that can help you add additional revenue. We're coming up with additional components. We just launched the broadcast stack. That's again going to the first part that helps make things easier and faster. So, and that's going to be fully integrated with Android TV. So on one hand, we're trying to make sure that your existing business becomes faster, easier, and lower cost to launch and to maintain. And we're also trying to make sure that you have a variety of new opportunities for both customer retention and for new revenue streams.
So Mark, you touched very interesting point about the monetization and advertisement aspect. So I would like to understand what are the key monetization opportunity overall for the operator, how you see, and the more important that is addressable advertisement or advertising is on Android TV possible, and how it can be achieved. Any some
Yeah.
insight on that?
So addressable advertising is what I was just mentioning, that we already have 2 operators where this is working. It's in the still in the POC stage, and I assume full commercial launch in Q1. So, and these are large operators. Both of these operators have millions of subscribers on Android TV. So we're not talking about some small operation. If in a very, very abridged version, you need to partner with the broadcaster. Obviously, you can't just steal their advertisement slots. So there needs to be a partnership there. We can help facilitate that. We can give you guidance on how to do that. Or we can just stay away and wait for you to tell us that that's done. The second part is you will work with your either integrator or OEM to put a solution in which helps facilitate the actual live insertion. It's totally seamless. The user doesn't notice that they're getting a different ad. That's again, that's usually done at a very, very low cost upfront. And after that, of course, is obviously the advertising business. And over here, Google again can be of great help because we are an advert. Most of our business is advertising. And when we offer these solutions, we give you full flexibility to use some of our components or all of our components, entirely up to you. And we can help with the monetization. You can outsource it entirely to us, or you can tell us to stay away and that you're going to do it all on your own. So it's very flexible and it's very scalable, and something that I think has, like I said, the worldwide market is huge. The advertisers want this, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity. So that's where I think that the largest opportunity is at the moment.
Mark, I know that's a very interesting topic and then we can have a long session only on that subject further for discussion. But yeah. I'll put one point to the Nitin. As we know, different opportunity, different aspects of the Android TV as we discuss. Mark mentioned, you mentioned, Sanjeev mentioned all those aspects. So what are the key advantages that Tatalexi brings to the table as Android TV partner with the Google? How you foresee them?
Okay, I try and make it always simple. So there are 4 C's here, right? So the first C is capability, and I think it's actually about the fact that there is great things that Android TV does for operators. In fact, open source software does for operators. It gives them control, it gives them agility, but it also brings in a gap in capability, especially when you start. And I think that's the key piece that we bridge in terms of saying, look, when you have plans, Don't worry about starting to build a factory first. Get out there in the market, and we will be the software factory for you. Right? And I think that is a critical capability that we bring through our center of excellence for Android TV, which is 200 plus people, technologists, and solution architects, and so on. The second C is really about complexity. And I think uh, Google is running fast. We just need to run a little faster. So while they bring in a DVB stack, our job is to make sure that different access networks and different existing legacy infrastructure still allow a great connected TV experience to be delivered on top of, right? And I think that's the second piece of issue that we handle for operators. The third C is complementary solutions. While Google brings a whole set of components together, I think there are certain elements that we bring in as system integrators, whether it is advanced analytics, whether it is the ability to measure quality of experience, uh, test automation, and so on. So these are solutions that come on top that make sure that the factory runs at scale and runs at speed, right? And the last C, of course, is customer experience. So I'm not going to say too much about it. A fantastic award-winning design team that can work with the technology implementation teams. And I would, again, encourage all of you to see what Sanjeev has achieved with Extreme. Fantastic experience. Right?
Uh, I think those four C's are really important, Nitin. So I think it's really key aspects of delivering a successful launch of the Android TV platform. As you mentioned, these four are quite key. So Sanjeev, as you are working with the system integrator partner, and many times we have seen some of the people are working without system integrator, but as you are working very closely with system integrator and as a Tata Alexi, and it's a very complex platform. How important is the system integrator partner role in delivering this Android TV platform to the market and achieving this success?
Actually, there's massive digitization which is happening, massive rollout of FTTH, broadband network. Connected STB is becoming a very powerful device, enabling content across linear and OTT platforms. It supports new age technologies like smart home, IoT functionalities, and as Mark highlighted, gaming. So at the same time, if I look from the customer point of view, customer is becoming very demanding day by day. Hence, it is very important to have an experienced and stable partner as an SI, supporting in the scaling up of the platform, creating tools that can manage and monitor the performance remotely, and support quick rollout of new features and functionalities. Tata Alexi has been supporting us as a system integrator and has played a key role in successful rollout of our Extreme Hybrid STB platform. And the numbers are there in the market, as Mark said. We are doing good, thanks to Tata Alexi.
So Mark, I'll put a very simple question. We heard a lot about 100 million M number, you know. So can you please comment?
I'm pretty sure that that we will reach that number in I have no doubt that we'll reach that number in 2021.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that we are the fastest growing TV platform globally. Okay. Retail or operator.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Great to see the growth, you know, and that's the true growth of a platform as we see on what you mentioned.
And I believe that that's also going to help. But you know, there were one of the Q&As that were put in the chat was regarding what Google is doing to expand the Play Store. You know, we don't always have 100% control over what goes into the Play Store because that's up to the developers. And I can tell you that when I do speak to developers today, it's an entirely different story than just even 6 to 12 months ago because the developers are now figuring out what reach, what penetration Android TV has and how fast it's growing. And all of the developers are now realizing that they need to accelerate porting their existing mobile apps onto Android TV, and that's going to create tremendous opportunity also for the operators. If you allow me just 1 second, we've done multiple focus groups and marketing studies, and what we found is something very interesting is that everyone loves the flexibility and the massive amounts of content that come with OTT. And everyone is very, very hesitant or actually turned off by the fact that they actually have to go through this, make decisions, and nobody wants to curate their own content. And everybody says what we really need is someone who can aggregate all of this and give me one single bill with curated content, which is basically the description of a cable TV operator. So the role of the cable TV operator, I don't believe is going anywhere. I believe that it is staying right where it is right now and possibly growing. And I think that as there's more and more content available, the role of the curator becomes even more and more important, because it's just not realistic to go through millions of apps in the App Store. Nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to know that someone's been there, done it, checked it out, made sure it's safe and curated for their needs.
So you touched the point about the acceleration, and Nathan talked about the 4C, one of the key point about that. They're running the speed with the ahead of the Google aspects, on those specifics, so that it can be delivered in time. And we heard about the accelerators, and especially that some of them are data driven, like ICX and all from Tata Elxsi for managing the different platform, the devices. How you see these accelerators are going to help the partner in general, possibly the different accelerators, what Tata Elxsi bring to the table?
Right. If you look at what we're doing really, Tarun, we're trying to see where we can make sure that there are no bottlenecks to the speed and agility that operators need. 2, as you deploy at scale, how do you enhance the whole manageability of that scale? Right? And lastly, if this whole thing is about users, how do you assure customer experience, right? And this goes beyond design. So therefore, you will have to bring in tools. You'll have to bring in tools that are a combination of hardware and software, at times software and AI, that actually help you with some of these aspects. So to that extent, ICX is something that we actually have deployed in Airtel, along with Sanjeev's team, which is really about providing deep insights into customer use and device use across the network. It also allows manageability with different devices. If you look at Falcon Eye, that is our Tata Elxsi automation suite that allows operators to automate a lot of the layered testing that you have to do before you launch a new release into the market. And remember, this happens every 2 or 3 weeks with the kind of sprints that we're running, right? Equally, I think when you look at operator tier implementations, Tata Elxsi has its own Android TV launcher, right? It's pre-built, built to deliver on the speed of launching, right? Not on the agility post-launch in terms of feature upgrades and enhancements and user experience. It's really about how do you get to market faster. And that is something that we've built which includes templatized frameworks, which includes a great customizable UI and UX. And I think this is the elements of differentiation that operators want. And that's the other piece that we've built. Right? It simply complements what is already available. So the idea is very clear. And there was a question somewhere in the chat box where they asked whether Tata Elxsi will now move to the DVBS stack from Google and let go of our own. Yes, of course. Because the idea is to leverage what is available in the market and what is mature. So I think the decision of what we will use and when we will use is really based on how do we make sure that when we take that and we deploy that, it delivers on its promise to customers. And we would gladly move to whatever Google is providing as a DVB stack the moment we run our own checks and confirm that, yes, we have it all covered.
I see the clock ticking and asking to move to the Q&A, but I'm sure, in fact, I have many more questions to ask on this further discussion, but due to the limitation of the time, maybe a last question to Sanjeev. Sanjeev, what Airtel and in general operator perspective are the key factors for a successful Android TV launch? We want to hear from your mouth, so.
I feel identification of the right partner ecosystem, developing a cost-effective, scalable, agile, connected platform, providing best of customer experience during the time of installation, and also after sales support. Will be the key for growth of a business and having happy customers.
Thanks. So that led me to the Q&A session. I would like to thank all the guests who registered and for this overwhelming response. I see a lot of questions, many questions over there, but maybe due to the shortage of time, we will take one question each. I will try to see that I can take one question each for each panelist. If time permit, we may see one more questions, but so maybe to once again to Sanjeev. Sanjeev, Android TV has become a mainstream, as I mentioned. Does it reflect the cost of the Android TV set-top box for operators, and how significant the difference in the trends? This is the question coming from participants.
During the start of the project, with limited options of SoC experienced partner in the ecosystem, the total cost of ownership was on a higher side. But now, with the ecosystem developing, things becoming more easier, more partners entering, and also looking at the growth in volumes has brought down the cost significantly. And I would say the trend is continuously going on, and we foresee much better results in coming days. As Mark has projected the number of subs by 21, so for sure I foresee cost efficiencies coming in.
Yeah, just to be clear, that number that we're aspiring to in 2021 is not only operators. So that includes everything.
We understand. Mark, the question for you, I'm just seeing this. So would like to know on Google's view on data specs, security, confidentiality, and access to it on Android TV platform. So if you can.
Sure. So just quickly to explain what we do and don't have access to. So Google knows that an app has been launched. It does not know what happens inside the app. And this is similar to mobile. So for example, we know that Netflix has been launched. We do not know what has been watched inside Netflix. Okay? An operator who has a launcher, that launcher is an app, which we know has been launched. We have no idea what happens inside it. So if one of Sanjeev's subscribers is using his box, we basically know uptime and not a whole lot more, because people are usually staying within his launcher. And that's the same across any operator. We don't know what happens once someone goes inside the individual app. We also know the query if you use the assistant, right? So if you're using Google search, then obviously we know what that search is. However, an operator that is using their own custom UI and has done, as Airtel is doing with us, full content ingestion and integration, the operator has the ability to use their own search as well. So we would only receive the search query once the operator has passed it on to us. So really, if you feel that you can handle all of the heavy lifting on your own, we're probably going to end up seeing very little. On the other hand, if you're asking us to do a lot of the, heavy lifting, this is, so to speak, the payment in kind that we get, is we get to understand a little more about the behavior. Like I said, but we'll never know what happens inside the app, whether that app is your launcher and your ecosystem that you have on your box, or whether that's a Netflix or an Amazon app. We have no idea what happens once that has been opened. And even the data that on that level that we get is subject to all sorts of legal restrictions. So I have, as a Google employee, cannot get very granular data on that because of GDPR restrictions and other restrictions depending on the market. So I believe that we receive as little or even less than what you would get on by using a custom Linux or AOSP operating system.
Thanks, Mark. That's clarified many doubts and many questions on, I'm sure, on the many of the partners and mine over there, who are participating over here. But maybe Nitin, I will take one question for you. So it's more generic question. I see. I'll try to take a generic one. T is working across the domains. Like in media and communication and automotive and medical. How you see TE experience with Android?
No, in fact, I think it's been a rather brilliant journey, because Android TV is the longest journey for us. Why? Because starting from the time that we started to work with Android mobile, it has been TV that came first. After that, from a handheld device to what consumers use in any other domain. So while the Android TV journey has been on, alongside we have seen very, very rapid adoption of Android Auto, especially in the car, starting with first just sharing screens, but now with full integration. So we currently have multiple programs going on, and not limited just to emerging markets and so on, but with very high-end infotainment systems and very high-end in-car experiences that are actually being driven by Android, right? So the automotive part, I think, is starting to scale fairly rapidly and across the globe for us. Healthcare, I would not want to comment. I definitely do see that apart from what is happening with telehealth and so on, where obviously you have systems that leverage some of the Google apps and services, we are starting to see what were proprietary equivalent of set-top boxes, right? Closed devices that were given to patients or to post-care medical use, now starting to become open source devices, but with hardened cores inside that deploy the application, right? So I would not call that an Android phenomenon. I just call that the fact that you want to leverage an ecosystem, drive down cost of device, and rather make the experience great.
Right. So, Nitin, that's a very interesting what you mentioned about the medical, that I'm sure people will think that how, we all will think that how further Android TV or the kind of platforms can be used for further for the medical, especially enabling the patients who are in house. So that's very interesting aspects. So I'm looking into the clock. So still I think we can take one more question. So Sanjeev, I'll take for you. The broadband is an issue in India. We all know, and we have seen the challenges in the past. but we all know that it's very important for Android TV as a connected platform. So can you please share Airtel experience regarding this topic?
I feel broadband in India is improving. So there is a lot of focus from the government for digitalization. Telcos are doing massive rollouts of fiber networks. The entire country is covered through 4G signal. As per some surveys also, if you look at, within India, broadband penetration is growing at an annual rate of almost 35% for the last 3 years. So there is good market size and demand for Airtel Extreme STB. The STB even works on hotspots. So yes, we foresee good market size available. And in days to come, it is going to improve further.
Okay. So I think we are going to be short of the time. So Sanjeev, Mark, Nitin, thanks for sharing your thoughts and providing insights on how Android help in enabling the business growth. And I think it's a very informative session, and with some of the new idea thought and the thought processes also, with it really very encouraging from me personally. In summary, we can say that Android TV is having a vast established ecosystem, and that vast established ecosystem is really helping. Besides Android TV roadmap, the flexibility for scaling, the platform, the monetization aspects and opportunities, helping growing the business for the operator partners. I would like to thank all the participants who joined the webinar across the globe. The participant who missed the initial section of the webinar will have a catch-up available to them. We will be communicating the details to you over the mail. Thanks once again to all the esteemed panel member and all the viewers for spending their valuable time with us. And with this, we close the session. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I can just add one thing, I say there's a huge amount of questions in the Q&A.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's if anybody needs specifically, a Google answer from a Google employee. I'm not sure if my contact information is there, but you can find me on LinkedIn quite easily. And just please, when you send an introduction to an invite to me, mention that we met over this so that I pay attention, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that people have that are relevant specifically to me.
Or if you have limitation, you can send the mail to the invitation what you have shared, and we will connect you with the Mark. That's not a, or even to Sanjeev or Nitin if you have questions. We have seen those questions. We will try to get back to you over the question what you have shared. So please send the mail to Data Access if you have question, and we will try to get all the information to you or connect to you to the Mark, Sanjeev, and Nitin as you want. Thank you.
Yeah, I should say that Mark is very efficient. He's actually managed to answer quite a few out there. I couldn't see your fingers move.
That's what I'm here for.